Good morning. After several weeks of trying to get the Chinese to vacate territory across the line of actual control, the government of India last night did what you can call a virtual strike. Several Chinese apps, 59 of them, including well-known ones such as TikTok, UC Browser, ShareIt, have been banned, citing national security and possibly the stealing of information by these apps. In fact, the Sunday Financial Express had also talked about the possibility or the likelihood that the next action would be on Chinese apps. The Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, which has spearheaded the move, said that it had received many complaints from people about how these apps were taking consumer information and if this was being abused. So that is why they have moved into action. Some of these decisions, as it happens, have been taken now, but in all probability, given the fears about Chinese apps stealing information of users, this is probably something that should have been done many months ago. In fact, the good thing about the decision that was taken about banning the apps is that unlike mobile phone components or auto components which are coming in from China, which were having difficulty when the customs started inspecting the cargo, unlike some of those components which were actually hitting Indian companies, including the MSME ones which were processing this, the ban on the apps is in that sense pretty costless. It does at the same time, however, impose a cost on these Chinese apps which were hoping to get large amounts of users in India, which in turn would boost their market capitalization. A related story to China is the one that we have on FDI through Singapore. Essentially, the government feels that a lot of Chinese FDI, or possibly a lot of Chinese FDI, could come into India through the Singapore route. So investments that are going to be coming in from Singapore are going to be scrutinized a little bit more than they were in the past. A very worrying corona trend, and this is our big corona story today, is the fact that increased infection levels are now being seen in the suburban areas. So the suburban areas, so which means that whether it's a Delhi or a Mumbai, the infection levels in these places are slowing down, but the infection in the neighboring areas are growing quite dramatically. Cases in Mumbai, just to give you an example, grew at about 2.4% for Unlock 1, which is essentially the period since June 1, whereas for all of Maharashtra, the growth was 3.4%. In the case of Indore, the growth was 1.1%, whereas for Madhya Pradesh as a whole, the average growth in June was about 2.1% per day. Ahmedabad's growth was around 2% versus Gujarat's 2.9%. So essentially what we are seeing is that the infection levels seem to be growing in the rest of the states and not just in the big cities anymore. In fact, the satellite towns are growing much Faster. Delhi's infections, if you see that graphic, Delhi's infections rose about 5.4 times in Unlock 1, that is from June 1 till the end of the month, whereas in the case of Gurugram, the infections rose 15.5 times. Infections in Mumbai rose 1.9 times, whereas for Palghar, they grew by 6.7 times. Now that's clearly worrying because, unlike in the big cities, in fact, even the big cities are like Delhi and Mumbai are actually bursting at the seams and having a problem coping with the health demand. But unlike in the big cities, the health infrastructure in smaller cities, in satellite towns, and in rural India are far worse. So as the infection spreads to those areas, it will be more problematic if the infection levels are quite strong. Our lead editorial today supports Rajiv Bajaj of Bajaj Auto very strongly. Rajiv Bajaj has come under attack from a lot of top-notch people such as ex-Maharashtra Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis. Essentially what they are saying is that Bajaj Auto has had 3 deaths. They've got a large number of corona infections. So, some people are saying that there should be a lockdown. Others are saying that, that this proves that Rajiv Bajaj is just talking through his hat when he was criticizing the lockdown in the past. So we are not saying, our edit is not saying that Rajiv Bajaj was right in the past when he condemned all lockdowns. Essentially the lockdowns were critical because that is the time that we needed to be able to build up healthcare capacity. Now we may not have done enough of this, as can be seen in cities like Delhi and Mumbai, but this was what the time was meant for. And as Rajiv Bajaj says very rightly, if you have a lockdown, the kind of losses that people will have are not something that the government can ever hope to make up. So essentially this will be like demonetization 2.0. The suffering will be very, very intense. Our second editorial is about the failure of some of these so-called revolutionary ventilators that have been made in the last few months. You remember that when the pandemic started spreading, people talked about the need for ventilators, and a lot of companies had come out with what they call low-cost revolutionary kind of idea. They said we will produce ventilators which are far, far cheaper than the conventional ventilators. In fact, some of them, like the one that was made by Agwa, was even portable. Yeah. So, but we are finding now that these ventilators have a lot of problems. So it is clearly not possible for the government of India to clear these ventilators before they were made, because I mean they just didn't exist. But certainly before the ventilators were given out to the hospitals, they should have been tested properly. What happened is quite unfortunate. The other big story of the day naturally is the of the Karachi Stock Exchange, where I think 11 or 12 people died. In all probability, the suspicion is, or the feeling is, that this has been done by the Balochistan Liberation Army. This is probably the second attack in Karachi, the last one being on the Chinese consulate in 2018. In fact, the stock exchange attack, not only the stock exchange a prominent part or a prominent sign of Pakistan, 40% of the stock exchange had been sold to a consortium of Chinese companies. So essentially this is once again a reminder or an attack by the Balochistan Liberation Army. Basically they are attacking the Chinese because they believe that the Chinese are helping the Pakistanis keep control over Balochistan. In fact, the Chinese are building the Gwadar port, which is also in Balochistan. While news of India contracting, India's GDP contracting, some say it's 5%, some say 6%. While that's pretty that's pretty old hat by now, analysts at India Ratings have actually done this analysis for various state governments. And some of the numbers are quite alarming. Gujarat, for example, is expected to contract by about 12.4% in FY21. So, that's almost 2.5 times the rate at which the overall macroeconomy of the country is expected to contract. And before you go, may I take you back to the Financial Express and ask you to read that lovely story about the Zoom shirt. Goodbye, have a great day. Thank you.